Hello everyone and welcome, you made it. Let's get selling some tiny little courses. Now here is the cool thing about this. When you have your tiny course selling, it just feels so good. You basically can turn on the autopilot and sell, upsells, and more courses sales come in over and over again. And the cool thing is that it didn't take you time. It didn't take you a 12 module course. No, it's way quicker, way faster. We're gonna cover two things here. I'm gonna cover what should be inside of your tiny course. For some of you that matters a lot. Don't worry about that yet. You should worry more about how are you gonna sell it, right? Because we are business owners and entrepreneurs. And second of all, we're gonna cover how to come up with the idea and how to put together the tiny course, tiny funnel. Now, with that in mind, let's go into the spreadsheet. So this thing right here, that's the spreadsheet. This is how you build a tiny course. You put together a spreadsheet and you walk people through a process. You see, the emphasis here is process. You cannot just be giving general lessons. You need to say, hey, step 1, step 2, step 3, step 4. It needs to be a process. Regardless of what you are teaching, you need to make it a process. Because if not, you are not selling a tiny course, you are selling a traditional course, and that is not really working well at all. The cool part is that when you teach a process, it doesn't take hours. When you teach a process, you will try to teach everything, right? You don't hold back knowledge, but naturally there will be things that you don't have time to cover because the process is you can go as profound into any step that you want, right? And some people will need some more help in some areas, some people will need some more help in others. It's up to them now to choose if they need more help from you. The idea is that from what they get in the tiny course, they can get the result. 100% holding nothing back. And you leave it up to them to decide if they want to buy more or not. And here's the cool thing. When you forget about selling, you actually sell more. Because we are living in a world of a lot of half lies, a lot of showing, a lot of pretending. And in reality, what's really connecting with people is transparency and honesty. And that's what I'm all about, and that's what I want to teach you to be all about. All right, boring big picture, done. Let's get to it. I'm going to set a timer for myself. I'm going to try to get through all of this within 40 minutes, starting when I tell you it starts. So chill, don't start the timer yet. 40 minutes I'm going to give myself. This is the second or third time I already record this training. So I've already recorded this training several times, right? If at any point I update it, you will get the most updated version, of course. The first time it took me like 20 minutes. I covered some holes. The next one, it took me like 50 minutes. I trimmed some stuff down to make it a little bit quicker. And we're on the third version, which I think is going to be very successful. So hopefully it's going to land well. Very excited. And yeah, let's get to it. So, 3, 2, 1, time. First of all, we're gonna cover the goal, what you need, the beta page, right? The billing page, the ads, the testing, how to turn on the ads, how to review the ads, what to do if it works, what to do if it tanks, what to do to make it work again, everything. It's a lot. Now, the goal we have here is to have a successful course that sells on autopilot, and then you can add more and more. You can add more tiny courses, you can add new funnels, you can add upsells, you can add group coaching. The idea is to have one core course that serves everything else, that provides for your coaching program, for your other courses, etc., right? If you are selling, say, like a fitness program, maybe you start with nutrition and then you sell the fitness, right? Separately. You need one tiny course to fit your entire system, right? So you can get the idea is that this whole thing needs to be done very fast, right? This is not supposed for you to create like a perfect system right off the gate. The idea is that you go very quickly within a matter of days or hours, most of the time, from zero to launching it, seeing how it works, and then correcting, right? Or launching a totally different tiny course, right? There are 4 possible outcomes you can get on day one. Again, we're talking day one outcomes, right? You get 0 sales. That means you messed up. That's going to be the minority of you. And even if you do, it's not a big deal. You go to the next. The vast majority of you are going to end up here. You're going to get back around 70 to 100+% of the money back you spend on ads if you know what you're doing. Every time we launch one and we do it great, we get anything between 80% to like even 200%, right? It's gonna depend a little bit how well you do. But the idea is that you are getting as much money possible back right off the gate. That means if you put, I don't know, like, it depends. You can do 10, you can do 100, you can do 1,000, right? It's a percentage. Don't get stuck up in the number, like, of course, right? The idea is that if you put $100, you can get 80 back right away, or you might even get 120. Now you might say, or like some more beginners might be scared, oh, what if I only get $70 back? You are in business. That is really fucking good. That is amazing, because all we need to do is get validation. I need you to imagine this. I want you to imagine that what you're doing is you're no longer whatever you are. You think that you are a fitness expert. I am a whatever, like mindset expert. I am a whatever your course is about, right? I'm not great at coming up with random ideas. You get the point. I'm a whatever expert. What are you an expert on? Okay? You are no longer that. Now you are a business owner. You understand? You need to switch your mindset. Forget what you know, believe you're a business owner. So now let me ask you, what is the goal number one of a business owner? To generate revenue at all cost. How do we generate revenue? We help people. Great. We help people, they pay us money in exchange, fairly basic notions. Now, what are these people? And what kind of help do I offer them, right? So I want you to imagine the current market as a series of like caves, right? A series of like dangerous caves in which your ideal clients are there. Maybe like me, right? As an example, you guys are here, stuck inside the cave, right? Deep down. But there are multiple entrances. What tends to happen is that what most people do is, okay, I'm gonna become, I'm gonna go with one example for the whole thing. I'm gonna go with like the coach example, right? So I'm gonna become a life coach, helping people empower themselves, whatever that means. They enter the cave and they go deep. They create a funnel, they create ads, they spend money on ads, it doesn't work, they keep going, and they keep going, and they keep going, until they themselves becomes the one that are lost. And now this coach or this expert like you are, right, is fucking lost. Is right here. And now they're the ones that need help. And then another novice comes in, and they're like, hey, I have an idea. I'm gonna help people sell their courses or sell their coaching. Okay, I'm gonna go see if they're there. Like they enter. They spend money, they get lost. Some of them survive and come back with money. Most of them just get lost, right? What happens? Why are they getting lost? Why are they not finding people? They were supposed to go there to find people to help, right? To find a treasure. Well, here is the thing. You can't just dive into the cave with no proof that there is somebody in there needing help. Because if not, you end up like these people, right? You go in and then you come back and you're exhausted. You spend all this money. You did all of this work for what? For nothing. You literally end up like traumatized, like this little dude there, right? What you need to realize is that what you're looking for first and foremost is validation. You're going to kick these people out, these other people who are trying, right? And you're going to crouch and you're going to look inside the cave and you're going to yell. You're going to say, hey, is there anybody inside? If nobody replies, you skip this one, right? If nobody is replying to you saying, hey, anybody inside who needs help, you skip it. You go to the next. Hey, anybody needing help here? Nobody. But here's the thing. The moment, and it will be very quick, it will be very, very clear, the moment that you hear a tiny little whisper, anything, right? You hear anybody asking for help, even just a faint sound, that's when you go in. But you don't go in alone. Now you know there is somebody in help. Now, because you know there is somebody in distress, maybe you can call the police, maybe you can get some equipment and go in there properly, right? So what this analogy means is that your tiny course is the entrance to find the market. But once you find it and you rescue this person, it becomes a gold mine. Now, you know that there is not only one person here willing to pay to be rescued. There are probably hundreds, thousands of millions. And now you can go in and help all of these people out. no longer being exhausted, no longer being depressed, but simply, going in, going out and doing it. What most people do is this. They choose a random cave. Remember, a cave, let's put it here. A cave is an idea, a product, right? And then they choose their equipment, right? And they spend all this time. So they choose all their equipment. They do this, basically. They spend a lot of time thinking about their offer. They spend a lot of time researching. Okay, they start reading books about it. They start reading, forums. They start going on Facebook and asking people to fill out a survey with like, hey, what do you want? They start doing interviews and find out what people want. And then once they more or less have an idea, they go even deeper. Okay, I'm prepared. Now I need some weapons. Now, what do? Well, they spend a lot of time building a complex funnel, right? And they're like, okay, I'm gonna go dark because it is scary. They're literally going dark. They don't know if there is anybody there. Sometimes it's not only that the cave is empty, it's also that there is a fucking monster, right? It's a time and money sink. So you are scared of that, right? So they think, okay, maybe there is somebody here. They make a map of the cave. They research it. They say, probably there is somebody in this cave because there are little food maybe, and they overanalyze. And then they build a complex funnel. They start thinking, okay, so I'm gonna need an email sequence with many emails, and these emails are gonna be great. So I need to learn copywriting, and if I'm gonna learn copywriting, I need to buy books, and then I'm gonna go a seminar for copywriting. And if I have emails, well, I'm gonna need a sales page, right? And now that they have the sales page, well, they need to figure out a way to add more products because they have this idea. Maybe they can create another idea. And now that they have all the ideas, the sales page, the emails, now they sit down, they record the training. They have a 12-module course, a 3-hour course, 4-hour course, right? And now they're like, okay, there are no people yet, right? I need to go in. I'm ready. I have all the things. So now they turn on the ads, which is going into the cave, right? They're like, okay, I'm equipped. I have the course ready. I have my equipment ready. I have my funnel. I have my emails. I have my weapons. I'm going to go there and save all of these people. And they enter the fucking cave and they keep going deep, spending more money. They add more tools. They add more funnels. They spend like $10,000 on mentors and shit like that. All going down the wrong cave. And they go deep. And the deeper they go, the more of a victim they become. Because now is when the smart marketers, they say, hey, are you trying to sell but it's not working? Oh, it's probably because you don't know copywriting, or you don't know my secret system, or you don't know how to DM people to get leads, or you don't know how to create a Facebook group. They give you more weapons. It's ridiculous. And you constantly keep going to them for more weapons and more weapons and more weapons and more stuff and more things, not knowing that this is not a marketing problem. Oh my God, I get really upset. This is not a marketing problem. It's not that you're not equipped. It is a business problem. You are talking to nobody. Or you're talking to the wrong person, or you're talking to the right person in the wrong cave. Right? That's the first lesson. So, going back to the main point, right? What is the idea behind this training? Is that you learn how to knock in these caves and how to find the one that's profitable. And once you found this one, the funnel I'm going to teach you is going to be this little trolley. You're going to go in, you're going to get the cash, you're going to come out. The funnel is the trolley. This is all you need. But first we need to find it, right? So what is more valuable? Let me tell you. What is more valuable? This is more valuable the trolley, the tool that I'm giving you, which is great. It's very useful to get cash out, right? Or is it more useful to know how to find the cave? How to find this, right? Which is the tiny course idea, the market, the pain point you're fixing, and the hook, especially the hook, right? Once you have all of these things, that is your cave. Now you add the product, which is a solution. And with all of these things, you go deep into it, and then you take the funnel I'm going to teach you, right? The system I'm going to teach you, which is very basic, it's very, very simple. You go, you take it, and you go inside, you bring out the cash. That's it. It's not that hard. Okay? It really works. Anyway, so with that in mind, that is the mindset. Hopefully you understand a little bit. That's why it's important that when I say you're going to put $100 in and maybe you get $50 or $60 in your first trip down the mine, I don't care. You found gold already. Who cares if you couldn't pick it all up at the first attempt? It doesn't matter. Because what we're gonna do is, if in the first week you put $100 and you get 60, in the second one we will put 160 and we're gonna get back 170. Because now we can bring more people, now we can bring more equipment, now we can invest into like creating more products, creating upsells, better ads, better copywriting, all these things I'm gonna teach you. That's not a problem, but you get the point, right? So these are the outcomes. Oh yeah, just a quick, I was editing the video and I wanted to like quickly make a point here. The interesting thing is that these are the outcomes at the beginning. That's not how you are supposed to run your business. You're not supposed to put $1 and get 1.01 cents back, right? The idea is that originally you can put $1 in and get $2 out, right? But to get there, we start with $1 and then 0.9 and then 1. Because the moment that you can get customers for free, that's it, you made it. If you get 100, 200, which is what you should aim for, right? Like anything between 5 to 10 new customers per day, right? That's gonna be like 200 or so buyers per month. When you have 200 buyers per month watching your course and consuming your entire course, because it's not a 12 module course that they have to take months to watch, it's something quick, right? And you show them you care. When you do that, you have 200 people every month that they're not going to sit like this with their hands crossed, not doing anything, right? With their arms crossed, not doing anything. No, they're going to be like, hey, do you have anything else? And you're going to be like, yeah, actually, yes. And that's where you can offer them either another product, and that's where you can go with a mega course if you really want it. That's a whole different topic. That's going to be like a, like $500, $900 course. Not a great idea either, because what's easier to deliver and create is either a membership or even better, a group coaching program. Because if you have a group coaching program, anything between like $200 to $1,000 per month, super easy for people to join, anything in that range. If you are starting out, you can do 200, 300. If you are more experienced and you want to sell it at 1,000, 2,000, we've sold it at those price points. The thing is, let's say you aim for like what, $600 per month, $500 per month, right? Out of 200 people, the math works out this way. 200 people every month are going to come to you and you're going to convert anything between 10 to 20 of those into group coaching clients and 1 to 2 of those into high ticket coaching clients at a minimum. That is without doing sales calls. If you want to do sales calls, go wild. You can close pretty much like 10, 15 high ticket sales calls from that. I don't do sales calls anymore and that's great. My life is so much better. The point is, if you add 20 people every month paying you what? Like at a bare minimum $400, like the cheapest possible, like it's $8,000 per month that you're adding. Here is the cool thing. This is not a one-time thing, right? Next month, you're gonna run your funnel again, right? And you're gonna make profit with it. You're gonna sell your course, you're gonna make a little profit, but you get a few other people. Sure, some of these might cancel. Okay, maybe like out of the 10, 2 canceled. Okay, fair enough. Now you have 8 instead of 10, right? You have still whatever amount, if I don't remember the number. But the point is like it accumulates, right? And as you run this for like 2 or 3 months, now you have 2 or 3 months worth of passive complete income, right? The group coaching, it's really used for clients. At least in my case, when I rarely open it up, people see crazy results because I commit a lot to them. But as much as I commit to them and I give them trainings and I review their stuff and I tell them, hey, go do this now, it doesn't take me that much time. It takes me anything between like 2 to 6 hours per week on average. And your clients will see great fucking results because you are not stressed out. And when you are not stressed out and you're not worried about money and you really can just focus on caring for them and giving your best, that's when the magic happens. In my example, like I have people in my coaching program that are there for like a year, 2 years, 3 years. Why? Because at the end of the day, when you provide value, they are going to stay. But the value for us is no longer the content like some people think. The value is the intimacy, aka being close to you. The value is your directions. Hey, what if we do this? What if we do that? It's not constantly pumping out new content, new ideas, new bullshit to keep them in the membership. No. Intimacy and steps over bullshit content. Anyways, that's my post-editing point here. Get excited about this. It's gonna be great, right? Don't worry too much about like the initial, oh, I put $100 and I only got $70. That's fucking huge. That's the seed for a tree. That's fucking great. That's the whole point. It is massive. Most people don't even get there because they're on their own. They're lost. They try to build a huge course. It takes them a month and then that's it. They quit. You're not that people. The process works. Anyways, let's continue. So yeah. Now, with that in mind, let's continue. What do we need to get into this cave, right? Well, 4 things. We need the target audience, so you need to learn how to come up with these things. It's not that hard. I'm gonna give you like the main bullet points, and of course, I could go as deep as I want for hours here, but I wanna give you like the 80-20, right? Then you need a beta sales page, like a very basic page that includes your information, because that's a hook. You need to test it. I'm gonna give you the structure for that page. I'm gonna give you some pointers about the design. You need a billing page because people need to pay, right? Like that's how you find if people want your stuff or not. And the ads, right? I'm gonna tell you the basics of, I don't wanna cover too much technical stuff because this is not supposed to be a technical course, but I will try to cover as much as I can. I usually don't know, like if people know a lot, some people like know everything about the pixel already. Some people don't even know what I'm talking about. So my job here is to try to provide you with tools to make this work, but I can't cover all the technicalities because it's infinite. Like, and they literally change every week. Like one day the pixel is gonna be in the top left corner, the next one's gonna be in the top right. It's ridiculous. But anyways, we're gonna talk about how to test the entire funnel, and we're gonna turn on the ads, and we're gonna review. We have a very clear process on what to do depending on what you see, right? So let's start with what you need. It's gonna be the target audience. Now, number one thing you need to understand, I'm going to create a bit of a worksheet as I do this with you, so it's a little bit easier. Because if I just teach the concept, it's going to be a little bit harder for you. I'm going to try to give you a bit more of a clear worksheet. So, the target is the pain point. Most people start with, who am I helping? No, what are you fixing? And why does it hurt, right? So you want to start with the pain point. And this pain point will shift. Don't worry about it, right? So, pain point. What is it? That's it. Why does it hurt? Emotionally or physically? That's it. It needs to be one line. It's not complicated, right? So for you guys, what is the pain point? Well, I want to sell courses on autopilot. That's mostly like what it comes to, right? And the pain point is I don't want to create a long course. And it's I am confused and overwhelmed, because I don't know how to do it. You see, like I start with one little idea and then I go until I more or less have a few ideas and I try to combine them all into one, which in this case would be the overwhelm of too much information and desire of autopilot of income, right? Or passive income maybe. Anyway, it's kind of how we'll do it, right? That's the pain point I'm fixing. So it's a pain point and a desire. But we usually lead with the pain. It's a little bit easier, right? Because it's going to be clear if you sell a course on how to do marketing, right? The benefit that people will know, right? If you teach how to have a better, a better workout at the gym, right? The benefit is clear. You will create more muscle. Sure, you can mention it, but it's fairly clear, right? The benefits are usually clear, the pain points not so much. For you, to the audience, they should be clear. To the people you're talking to, they should know them. It's you that need to verbalize them. So for somebody going to a gym, sure, the benefit is building muscle. The pain could be many, right? It could be that they are frustrated because it takes too long. Okay, that's good. It could be more beginners that are saying, I'm confused, or I have fear of what others might think, I don't want to work out, because others might make fun of me, I don't know, right? Whatever it is. They are overweight, they don't want to go to a gym, maybe they are, you get the pain. I'm not going to put too many examples, but the pain point, right? So what you want to do is like brainstorm 2, 3, 4, 5 ideas. There is no process for this. You need to understand there is no degree on this. It doesn't exist. We are in the market, we are in the jungle, and we need to do everything we can to survive. You need to let go of believing that there is a system. You need to trust yourself a little tiny bit more. Anyways, I digress. I also gonna talk to myself there, right? That's interesting. We all go through that. Pain point. Once you have that, the what, not the who. Then you go through the who a little bit more, right? We have the physical. Who are they physically? Like, are they a man? Are they a woman? You go through the mental, and then with both things, you create the hook, right? With the who and the pain point, you create the hook. Normally, I prefer to cover the mental first and then the physical. So, example. Let's go with dating, right? So the pain point is I want to be better at dating, right? I want to date more girls. I've sold those kind of courses in the past. I've with clients, right? So they help guys who are introverted get better at dating. Cool. What is the pain point? Where they're lonely, right? And they feel rejected. Okay, we're onto something here. Now, who is it? Well, in this case, it's going to be men, right? Very clearly. Most of the time, you're going to go after both. There is no need to specify men or women unless you really need to. I see a lot of people, especially women, trying to just target women. Like, you don't need to do that. The way I'm teaching you. If you're going to try to compete in the most crazy market, you're going to try to sell a bigger course at a very high price point in the US, in a very competitive market, then yes, you need to niche the fuck down. You need to be like super sharp, right? Your message needs to be pinpoint. The cool thing is that with what I'm teaching you, you can be blunt because the market is going to be soft. It's not going to be hard. It's going to be a soft market that you are going to cut through like butter. That's why the broader you go, the more people you're going to reach, and it's cheaper to advertise to more people, and especially if there is no need, men or women, anyways, in this case it's going to be men, so fair enough. Same thing with age, not usually very applicable except for excluding. You don't want to be normally target students or people with like low income most of the time, unless you are prepared to deal with that, unless there is no other way around it. But normally if you can avoid it, you can try to avoid that. Mental, what does it mean? Well, where are they, right? We can have somebody who is unaware of their pain, people who are pain aware, problem aware, process aware, and product aware. Interesting, right? I like to explain it with my trademark example of the back pain, right? You might have back pain right now, and maybe like even me actually just thinking about it, it's like when they tell you, hey, sit upright, and you're like, oh shit, I wasn't sitting upright, right? Not thinking about it. They might have some, they might not. They're not thinking about it. Pain aware is when I'm like, oh man, recently my back has been hurting, but it will get better hopefully next week. That's it, right? So it's like more like a hopefully next week kind of vibe, right? In which, sure, I know I sometimes have this pain. I'm not ready to tackle it yet, right? Like I have the pain. I don't have the motivation fully to tackle it yet. In some cases you have. It's very market dependent here, but of course. So again, this is a valid one. This is not a great example, the one I put. The pain example is when you start... well, we'll go through it in a second, a better example. I'm gonna go too deep there. The problem. Well, now they know they have a problem, right? It's like when you go to the hairdresser, finally, and you're like, okay, you get to a point in your head that you're thinking, I need to go get a haircut. I need to go get a haircut, right? You are becoming a little bit more pain aware. And when you're like, okay, I need a haircut. Like, I'm going to call them. When you're about to call them or when you're thinking already, okay, maybe in the next few days I'm going to call them. You guys need to be a little bit introspective here, right? Remember those times. You're like, okay, maybe in the next few weeks I'm going to call them. That's the feeling they have, right? Of, okay, I've decided I'm going to fix this problem because I need to. I will do it soon. Or I will do it when I find the right barber. I will do it when I find time, right? Or I will do it tomorrow. And then process aware. You guys probably know them, especially for guys. I don't know for women, but the most frustrating thing is like when you are like, okay, I need a haircut. Like I need it now. I've been thinking about it for a while. I need to take one next few days. You call your hairdresser and you're like, hey man, you have a spot. And they're like, oh man, I'm booked for today and tomorrow. And you're like, no, I needed it before the weekend. I was going out or whatever, right? So went to a wedding or whatever you're going. That's process aware. Now you know the solution. You know that, hey, I need a haircut. Most people who need a haircut are process aware. Maybe for a better example here, you see how the example changes, right? Depending on the stage, because it's kind of hard to explain it. But if you have back pain, you can try all sorts of solutions, right? Maybe you become problem aware, like, hey, I have back pain. I'm worried about it a little bit now. And then you start looking, hey, should I take some medicine? Should I go to a doctor? Should I try acupuncture? Should I try Like some massage. Should I try some cream? Should I change my posture, right? You start becoming aware of the possible solutions. That's great. And then you become product aware, which is when you buy one product and either it works or it doesn't. People who are very product aware, the most typical example is people who've worked, and maybe you're one of those. I certainly was one of those. You've paid a lot of money to a coach. You went through the process. You have the pain. You have the problem. You make some progress. You invested in a coach that promised you the world. And then you didn't get what was expected. It wasn't bad. You just quite didn't get it, right? That is somebody who's been burned, right? Burned. That's like the most extreme example of being product aware, right? That's why I teach what I teach, even though I don't need to teach this right now for a living. I have other companies because I've been burned before, and I talk to many people who've been burned before, either by experts that charge them like $20,000, or by bullshit courses, or me just scrolling through Facebook seeing the bullshit that's being talked about, right? Because guess who advertises the most? Business owners who are running their business successfully, or marketeers whose entire job is to sell marketing and do marketing. Marketeers. Business owners that are running their successful, back pain course and they're making 7 figures, they're not teaching marketing courses. They don't have time for that. But the little guy who got lucky and made some money with a webinar and now he's an expert in marketing, but has no clue about business fundamentals, that's the one who's making the most noise. Anyways, I could talk about this for a long time. So these are the 7 stages. So you want to map them out. Now, here's the thing. When somebody gives you homework in a course, what they do is they map them out and do it in depth. They tell you to do it super detailed. This is something also interesting for your own tiny course as you make it. Don't do that. That's bullshit. You're putting too much work on the other person, right? It's not going to be great. Sure, if I tell you guys, hey, do this in a lot of detail, maybe you're going to have like a 2%, 5% better chances or better results. 2, 3, 4, 5%. If you do it in huge detail, you do 200 lines of text and really think about it, don't. There is no need. I'm going to tell you the opposite. And you should tell your students the same. It is your job to remove work, not to add more, right? It's your job as an expert in your tiny course to pick and choose what's worth and what's not. Everything is worth. I could have you guys doing exercises of research for weeks. I know all of that. I've done all of that. Focus group, interviews, research, surveys, quizzes, analysis of all sorts. That will give you a 10-15% edge. It's not worth the time. Make sense? It's not worth it. It's your job to choose that. So as you record your own tiny course, it could be 20, 30, 40 minutes. You need to choose. And that's the cool part. That's what makes it extra valuable. So anyways, don't spend too much time. Just more or less try to understand where they're at, right? When they're unaware, how is it looking like, pain, problem. And then the who. Well, the who already decided it, right? The physical realm, right? Basically, which is a man in this case. So what do you do now? Well, normally what I like to do is I have this timeline, right? So let's imagine this case, the dating example, right? They're in pain. They know they're lonely. They're scared that they're never going to find somebody. At the same time, now they're like, you know what? Maybe I can fix this problem. Maybe I can learn social skills. Or maybe I can go to therapy and fix it, right? They're starting to realize that there is a gap here that they need to fix, right? So what you need to do now is choose in which position you're going to target. So let me explain. You need to choose in which state, not position, sorry, it's late here. In which state the person you're going to be talking to is at right now, right? Now, what most people do is they're going to default here because you are an expert in whatever you teach. You are not only process, but product and guru aware. You know everything, not everything, but compared to your prospects, you know everything, right? Now, when you know more than people, you have the expert's curse. You are cursed with knowledge that others don't have. Oof, tricky, right? So you need to dumb it down. You need to really remember when you started, go really dumb and be like, okay, let's take a step back, right? Because most people default to here, to targeting people who are process aware, which is great because the more to the right, this is like a line, the more to the right you go, there is more pain point. The more to the left you go, there is less pain. But it's not just the pain that matters, it's also the audience size. And what most people forget is that you can have a bigger audience size is overall better than a smaller one. Because if somebody really is in pain, right, just because you say, hey, this is for women, or hey, this is marketing for whatever, right? The best example is like when you target only women, right? Oh, this is business coaching for women. Okay. If a man is in pain and you have a good process, which I'm going to teach you how to create a good hook, right? He's not going to care. The problem when you start saying women is you're filtering people out, right? It's like if you go to a chiropractor that only works with women. Sure, maybe there are some things that they change, but the body is the body. Like your muscles and your bones are your bones at the end of the day, right? And the problems are going to be very similar. So the point is, you don't need to go too narrow necessarily, okay? That's a bias people have. They tend to go too narrow. No. I usually recommend you go as much to the left as you can, right? I usually recommend you target anywhere in this vicinity, right? You see these 3 here? Anywhere around here, right? Around the problem aware. So more even close to the very beginning of problem aware, right? They know a little bit about the process. So anywhere in this area, right? It's like, I cannot draw a circle here for some reason, but let me just do this. Around this area, you see? Either at the beginning of the problem or at the end of the problem or in the middle of it, right? It's going to depend on the market. I cannot give you general advice. But normally, if you have questions, if you're in doubt, lean more towards the left because you can then always go to the right. Lean more towards people who are less aware of the process because you can always go to the right in your next iteration, right? And that's my preference overall. So now you're clear on where they're at mentally. You know what they know, what they don't know, right? You dumb it down a little bit. You need to come up with the hooks. Now, the hook needs to match 3 clear criteria, right? First of all, instant gratification. Now, it doesn't mean you need to lie and be like, you're going to make $10,000 tomorrow. That's bullshit. Instant means that it's a fast process, right? That you're giving them the bare minimum they need to succeed, right? So you want to be, the hook, by the way, is like the title of the course, right? It's not just the title, but it's usually the title plus the idea, right? When I say tiny course, that's a hook, right? It's an idea I can expand. It's a seed, right? And it's also the name of any training I can put together, right? The tiny course method. There we go, right? Or tiny course workshop. The hook is the angle you're taking, is how you are approaching the market, how you're trying to convince them to purchase from you. Most people try to make a hook that is new, that is unique, that is shocking, that is, clear, which is good. The part of being clear is good. But all these things, you don't need them. These are tools that you need if you're going to go into a red ocean. If you go into a red ocean, then yes, you're going to have to make something fucking unique to be successful there because the cost of advertising are very high. When you target a blue ocean, and a broad market, not just a small, tiny market, a broad market. When you do that, it's a blue ocean. You don't need to be new, unique, or shocking. In fact, you doing that is actually going to backfire because when you test unique ideas, it's very rare the first one you test is going to work. Very, very rare. But when you test general ideas, oh my God, they work so well. That's why I tell you to lean more toward the left here, more like people who know less about the process. Because the more to the right you go, the more you try to make something controversial, new, unique, like, hey, forget therapy and try this. No. You have this problem. Do you want the solution? Yes. That's the mindset. Okay? You have this problem. Oh my God. You have this problem. Do you want the solution? That's it. You don't need to sell them. You need to assume they want to buy. The more you assume they want to buy, the easier you're going to make it for yourself. You assume they want your help. You assume you don't need to convince them. You switch your mindset. And a lot of the things I talk about are mindset related because I cannot teach you copywriting here in like 40 minutes, 50 minutes. I can't. What I can teach you is how to think about the business you are running and how to think wrong. I'm going to get more into the technical details in a bit, but this is the more big picture part. So anyways, yeah. With that in mind, how do you come up with the hooks? Well, it needs to be fast. It needs to provide instant gratification. There we go. It needs to have ease of use. That means it's something you can listen to. It's something you can copy and paste. It's something you can watch while you drive. Well, not while you drive, but you get the point. While you are on your lunch break, right? It's not a 12 module course. It's something short, sweet, to the point, not just in length. People just think of length like, oh, the tiny course needs to be short. No, you can make it as long as you want to, but the point is that the implementation part needs to be quick, right? Anyways, instant gratification, you need to trigger it, ease of use, and the most important part, the pain. You need to target and not forget what is the one pain. One pain, not many pains. What is the one pain you're solving? If it's overwhelmed, you're fixing overwhelm. If it's fear, it's fear, whatever the pain it is, right? And that's it. And with that, you come up with a hook. The title of your course. Now, I don't know what to make my course about. Well, that's a whole different workshop, to be fair. The hook, as long as it triggers these things, you're fine. I recommend you usually use ideas like instant, use time measurements, right? So you in the title of your course, you can make like the 1 hour training, the 15-minute cure, the 60-second plan, the 3-step whatever. I don't like steps so much. I want you to use time measurements ideally. So 60 seconds, 7 minutes, 15 minutes, 20 minutes, 1 hour, right? And you put that in the name and in the title, that's going to convey it very well, right? Again, that's a technique, that's a tactic. That's what you guys want, right? Ease of use. That normally is conveyed in what? Is it a workshop? Is it a cure? Is it a method? You need to come up with this idea. Is it a toolbox? What is it, right? You need to convey it. You need to convey through that. And then the pain, that's pretty clear, right? So as an example, when I have tiny courses, you could argue it's only targeting maybe these two, right? Fair enough, but remember, the angle, the hook, is that the courses are easy, small to create, removing the friction that people have originally when needing to create them, or at least the mental block they have, because they have a fucking mental block. It's more mental than real. I digress. So, yeah. With that in mind, you have a basic hook, basic idea. I could go on this for hours. I just really need to go to the next point. But like usually I go on this for like 1-2 hours. When we come up with a super clear hook, that's what you want. In your case, just come up with anything. Just be sure it has some instant. It's clear. It's like an audio. It's like a meditation. It's like a toolbox, a method, something easy, right? With minutes, hours in the name, and clearly targeting one pain. Don't try to mention two. Choose one, right? One pain. One very clear fucking pain they are in. So, with that in mind, what's next? What is next? Well, we have up here the beta page. Okay. So how do you do this? Well, again, first of all, you sign up for any tool. I personally like to use ClickFunnels. What you do then is you go to ClickFunnels, you go to WordPress, you go to Squarespace, you go to whatever tools you use. I personally really like ClickFunnels. It has a free trial. You can take it. And it's very good. It's not the best tool. Like, I don't know how much you guys know, but it's not like the best tool. It's not a fucking Ferrari, but it's a Toyota Prius. It's not gonna like leave you hanging. It's like you can throw anything you want. It's not pretty. It's just a fucking 4x4. It's gonna go through anything. It's rough around the edges, but I love it. It's just, I don't know, it feels cozy to me. It's a fucking Toyota. It's all we need, right? Something that's gonna be reliable, well, kind of reliable enough. And if it breaks, you can fix it very easily, right? Anyways, that's my suggestion. You can get whatever you want. You only need one tool, right? Everything else you don't really need. So you create your beta page. What is the page? Well, the text. You see, it's very simple. You click here, choose a product. You can choose anything you want. You put the name, right? You put like tiny course test. Then you click on build. You see, you get 2 simple pages. You get a sales page and an order form. It's not even like this is what you need, the beta sales page and the order form for people to pay. You select a white page, and again, this works for any tool. We click on edit and we have a page. That's it. You see, very simple. It's a white page. And now you start building, right? Now remember, your traffic is going to come from people in their phones. So you want to check that it looks good in your phone, right? Just a warning, but never mind about that right now. So go back here to the structure, right? And the beta sales page. You sign up for any tool and you need to appeal. Remember, this is the same thing as before. Instant gratification, ease of results. And now that you remember the one pain they have, what is the one kinda clear goal. Why do I say kinda clear? Because if I say clear goal, you guys are gonna get like, oh, I need a clear goal and it needs to be so good. No. People think that things need to be better than they need to be for them to work. Just kinda clear is enough. Don't overthink it. So what is the structure? This is a structure like it could literally be any other. This is the one that I found most useful for me to write. It's really good. It works really well. I've tested it quite intensively, and this just works. Why change it, right? I rarely share this. In fact, in the previous version of the course, I didn't share it because it was an upsell. I was like, hey, if you guys want to get the exact sales page, you guys get it here. At this point, I was like, you know what? I'm going to give it away. So anyways, this is the structure that we have. Start with the tiny course name. Cool. Okay, we put it up here. You get a mock-up image. Cool, there we go. We have the mock-up image. How do you make this image? There are many tools to do it online to have either these three-dimensional style images or have like some sort of diagram like this. You see, like very, very simple things are things that I've used for sales pages, right? Nothing complicated. You can see it's like a drawing literally sometimes, right? And it really works well. So anything like this, even if it looks like silly or anything like this, it's really, really cool. So yeah. And I'm too good of a person. I paused the video and I was like, you know what? I'm going to go to the next point. I'm going to show you guys how to do it. Go to Canva or anything. You get anything, a diagram or whatever. You put it here. You click on text and just like put whatever ideas you have for your course, right? You try to make like a cool, little bit new idea. And there you go. You see now you have a little diagram here, right? And you can click here and you click on download selection and you upload it anywhere and you got it, right? If you want to be cool, you can do this. You go to Google and you Google marketing diagram, cool. Fitness diagram, cool. I'm giving it all away. You guys can see this, right? And then you get ideas. You're like, oh, you know what? This looks cool. I like it. All right. So now you take a screenshot. There we go. I was just looking for another one. Look, we have another one here. This is cool. So you copy this, paste it, and now you can make it your own a little bit, right? So now you just like need to take whatever elements you have. Like you take the freaking thingy and you put it here. And you make it your own idea, right? A little bit. You change the colors, you can edit it a little bit around, you change the text, and there we go, right? There you have your idea. I said normally I go way more in depth, but again, just trying to give you guys everything I can here. Normally come up with like 3-4 different mock-up images. We test them all. We do like a little bit of a split testing. We find out the good one. Anyways, then we have the mock-up image. Now we need to name the problem. Okay, so what's the problem? Well, the problem here would be well, it's different. It would be like, you don't need a 12 module course to be successful, right? The pain point, and again, you don't need to say tired of trying to record your course. I'm not gonna say that because it's like too cringy, right? But if you are like selling anything else, just like name the pain clearly. Let's imagine you're talking about dating, right? I would be like, tired of being alone. Get your future wife in 30 days, whatever. I'm just making it up, right? Like you name the pain point, okay? You name the problem they're dealing with. So now you have the problem they're dealing with, right? Which is alone, the outcome a little bit. Now is when you mention the actual pain, right? So let's go. So we have the course name, the mockup, the problem. Now we have to the actual pain. So now you mention you tried, and again, there are like hundreds of ways. Like don't take this as a literal example, right? Like if you do that, that's not how it works, right? You need to think it through. I'm just giving you some quick ideas because we're trying to build it a little bit together. Normally, I like to build this like live with people, either on a group call or in a one-on-one call, and we take all the time and we go through it, like we write it. But you name the pain, right? So the pain, it's pretty clear. You need to use phrases that they use. You need to use things they've tried that didn't work, and you need to elicit this pain, right? This could be like 3-4 lines, nothing too complicated, but you name the pain, okay? So you're like, unsure what topic to choose for your course, tired of doing sales calls, right? All these kind of things. Do you want freedom for your family? Whatever the pain is. We go into the proof. Now, when I say proof, people think testimonials. If you don't have testimonials, it's not a problem. Proof can also be like logical proof. It could be your results. It could be a logical argument. Like if you are offering a fitness program, you can like take a look at research and be like, okay, this research paper supports my point. It could be your own results. It could be an argument like, hey, you've tried this. This doesn't work because that. What I do works because this. And you make a logical A equals B, hence B equals A argument, right? Or A equals B, right? B equals C, well, A equals C, right? The whole idea of mathematics there. But just a logical argument. So you put some proof. In my case, it's very easy to put testimonials, right? You don't need a lot, but we put a few. That's great. So we put, again, you can put a few testimonials, whatever it is. Also, I didn't like the placeholders. I put some random text so it looks a little more decent. Now we go into the old way. So what is the old way of doing it? There we go, right? So the old way. And the way you want to word this part, I do want you to copy more, is the you don't repetition pattern. This is a pattern I've been using for a while, and it works so well across all the industries. So I'm giving it to you guys. You say, you don't need, you don't, and you repeat that 4 times or so, 3, 4, 5 times, right? And you mention the things they think they need, even if a little controversial, right? You don't need a long course, right? And now you're going to the new way. And again, you don't reveal, right? There you go. What you need is, and now you can talk about the new way if you want, right? And do like the new way. And you can introduce your concept or whatever, right? And now when you talk about what the new way is, here's what most people want to do. When they're like, oh, the new way is this, and that. And this, no. Wait, hold on to your horses. If you explain it, it breaks the mystery. We want to retain a little bit of curiosity. We are selling a course. We're being clear to the client, hey, you're getting these videos. It's going to help you with this pain point. It's going to help you with this or that. We are not telling them exactly how it works, even if we're really tempted to do it as teachers, because they're not going to understand. And if they think they understand, they're going to get more confused. They're going to be like, oh, I've tried that. No. The new way, that's our little secret. Or you can say, oh, depending on your language, right? And now we appeal to speed. It all has to do with one concept. And now you can, now if you want, you can go deeper into this concept, right? Let's say the concept of the blue ocean versus red ocean idea. And now I could even put like an image below. I'm going to probably write about this, I think, in the next sales page. And then you can explain a little bit more, like 3-4 more lines. And then you could keep explaining, right? But more on that inside, right? You can be like, and yeah. Anyways, you can like explain a little bit. The point is like, don't explain too much, right? And yeah. Now the call to action, finally, we put a little button to buy final. Why? Because we want them to read the stuff. So we don't want them to just put the thing at the top right away. We want them to read a little. There we go. Have the call to action. Join the right? And you can make it the method here. Into the guarantee, you basically offer them a guarantee that's solid. Normally you want to offer like a normal guarantee, like a 2-year guarantee or something, right? If you deliver a good service, very few people will actually ask for it, because you're really trying your best to deliver the service, plus pretty cheap. So you explain the guarantee. Hey, if you don't really like it for any reason, email me here and I will process a refund. I don't care, blah, 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 right? And yeah, don't worry about that. People are actually really nice, and nobody ever really like asked for a refund unless they're like, they were gonna do it anyways, right? So yeah, deliver your good stuff. Very cool. Now we add some scarcity. Again, the scarcity, you want it to be real, especially in any marketing or business industry, right? So keep it real. What I like to do is like different bonuses every month. So I put like unique bonus only for July. If you're not in a business industry, you can do some discounts, but it's not ideal. And then frequently asked questions, so what are their objections, and you answer. And then at the end, you do a recap. Hey, if you scroll to the bottom and you're here, here's a summary of what you get, and you make it clear what they get. And that's it. You might add a couple new buttons and you're good. The design should be white with black, super simple. Yes, I have fancier ones, but every single product you see me was launched exactly like this. Well, normally what I do is I get a little fancier and I do make the headline a little bigger. I add some bold to the equation, right? There we go. We make it look a little nicer, right? I might add another image, like comparing the old versus the new, right? I might add a little bit more text here, but it's all the same. It needs to be this template, because the design is actually not gonna matter. I'm really good at design, and it sucks Because I'm good at design, I'm really good, and it's a useless skill at the beginning. It's not worth anything. It's A, super cheap to outsource, and B, it's gonna distract you from what actually matters, which is what is the pain you are solving. Because it is so short and so clear and so black and white, if you are not covering the pain, you will know it. I will know it. Everyone will. Especially the customers. So if it doesn't work, you know it's not because the copy was bad, it's because you didn't talk about the pain point enough, or because the pain point is not a pain point worth solving, or because the hook wasn't interesting enough, right? Either of those. But you know it's not the system, it's not the complexity of the page, it's not the design, no. It's black and white clear. The design is only like 5% of the equation. The billing page, pretty simple. Take any template, you click on edit, you put the name of your product here at the top, you put a subheadline saying, hey, get whatever benefit, and then you just delete the rest. You only need the billing form. Now, don't put address, don't put anything. Just put the email, maybe the name at best, but just the email and credit card number. That's it. Normally, you also want to add PayPal. So what you can do is add like a PayPal link. Most tools integrate with that. There are all sorts of integrations for payments and whatnot, depending on the tool you use. You want to make sure you can process credit cards and PayPal. And yes, it is possible regardless of the country you are in. I know it's hard a little bit in some countries, a little bit easier in others. It's the same. You just need to Google and find the right solutions. There is always one solution. And if not, you can just use PayPal only. There are some funnels I launch only with PayPal because it's a little bit more international and it still works well. And then we add the credit card, right? But yeah, that's the billing page. Very simple. You don't need anything else. Just don't add a huge amount of addresses or anything for them to fill out because you're making it harder for them, right? To buy the product for you. So yeah, then the ads, let's get into that. We're going to be talking about Facebook ads. I personally am an expert in Facebook ads and TikTok ads. Those are the ones I use the most and they work incredibly well. I also use like YouTube ads and whatnot, but the ones I've really used the most for like years and with like hundreds of clients are TikTok ads and Facebook ads. I'm going to start with Facebook ads because it's a little easier for you guys to get started with, and it both work the same. You go to ads.facebook.com. That's the URL, or you Google Facebook ads and you come here. And then you click on Start Now, go to Ads Manager, and it's going to ask you to sign up. You log in with Facebook. You will see something around these lines at some point, right? The interface changes all the time. So I can't tell you how it's going to look like because I swear every week it changes. Like it's actually crazy. But you will see anything like this. You want to find the billing section. So you go to billing. What you want to do is add your credit card, and that's it. And if you can, prepay some of the funds, like you can load in some funds in advance, but just add the credit card for now, you should be good. You have the ad account, you have the billing method, now we're going to install the pixel. The pixel is a little image that is a little code that's going to fire and tell Facebook when somebody purchased. You don't need to install it in every single page for now, just in the purchase page. So you go to something called Events Manager. Again, it's going to change, so it's like impossible for me to tell you what it is, but you need to look for the words Event Manager, okay? Normally, if you go to all tools, it's going to be something like this little icon, right? And in the Events Manager, then you will go here and click on Connect Data Sources. They just moved this button recently, so it was before here. You click on Connect, you click on Web. Of course, right now I don't have it set up it's like a test account, right? So it doesn't matter, but you would click on web and then you see I already have one. So that's why I cannot create one probably. But yeah, okay. So you have the pixel there. Now you go again to the left little bar and you try to find the pixel, whatever it is. They change the name. They change, like, I swear, I can't. They literally change the name, the position. Now it's called Data Sources. It's wild. So anyways, you click on continue, you click everywhere until you finally find the code and you click on install code manually. You click on copy code. Now you go back. You remember we have the sales page. When people buy, they're going to be taken to a page to put their information to pay. And once they pay, they're going to see a message saying, hey, thanks for paying. Normally it's going to be another quick page, right? So anyways, whatever tool you're using, it's exactly the same. Most settings, and you look for the tracking codes. You see it says header. The head is the top, the foot is the bottom, right? So what loads first is the top of the page. That's why we put the pixel at the very top, okay? And there we go, that's the pixel. Now, right now, it is tracking the page views. It's tracking anybody who views the page. we want to tell Facebook this is a purchase. So what you do is you copy this exact same code, right? If you can notice it's exactly the same. The difference is it says purchase. So you paste it right below the page view, right? And you can see it here. I will put it in the spreadsheet, put it here for you guys. Now you can probably remove the value. I don't usually put the value at all, or you can like put the price of your course if you really want to, right? I don't usually fill it out. And that's it, right? So now we have the ad account, the billing added, the pixel is installed. We put the custom event, it's called right now, or whatever they want to call it at any point, which is this thingy, right? Telling it's a purchase. And now we're going to verify that it's working. So Google Facebook Pixel Helper or Meta Pixel Helper, and you click on install. You need to go to the Chrome web, Chrome extensions, and you install the extension. I already have it installed, so it's not very hard, but just go to Chrome extensions, Facebook Pixel Helper, and it's there. We're gonna check it in a second. Just in the meantime, let's change the text. In the thank you page, it says confirmed, and what you wanna put in the page is your order has been processed. Wait a bit, or you can something like, we will manually send you the access within the next few hours. Why do we do that? Because again, if somebody buys, we don't have anything set up yet, right? So we can email them and say, hey, I'm gonna give you access to the course. I'm still creating it, or I'm creating a new version of it, right? What would you want me to cover? I'm gonna send it to you tomorrow, and then you send it, right? And it's a quick version, and you iterate until you are like me in your third, fourth version, and it's like a longer course, better, all this kind of stuff, right? And if they have questions, you can even answer them via email, because you have like 2-3 students at the beginning, the first week. You can answer them via email. You can even get on the Zoom call with them and teach them a little bit more, help them a little extra, right? Anyways, you put order confirm, make sure they know it. We will add upsells here in the future at some point for you. And then you go to the actual website. You go to the top, you see this little icon, it says extension. Well, you click on extensions and you will see you have the Pixel Helper. You click on it and it will say, oh, we have the pixel and we have the page view and we have the purchase. And it even says the amount and everything, right? Which means it is working, regardless of what Facebook says. It is working. It's going to take a while for Facebook to realize that we have a pixel installed. It's fine. Don't worry. It is set up correctly. Now we have it verified. Now we just need to go ahead and create the campaign. So we're going to go on Facebook again. We go here and we create on create campaign. You want to select sales, because all we care about is sales, not emails, that kind of stuff, right? Plus, we're only sending people to a sales page. It's gonna be different every time. You wanna create on manual or anything similar. Then you wanna put the name here. You can just put like sales, or you can put the name of your course, right? It doesn't really matter, just for you to be organized. And then you're gonna scroll down until you find here campaign objective is sales, that's set up correctly. Buying type, it's auction, yes, just checking that everything is correct. All right, so then you click on next. And now, once you click on next, you are gonna set up website, because you are sending people to, well, your website, right? So you wanna select the pixel, you click here and you select the one pixel you have, right? Here it says cost per results. I'm not gonna get into the technical details as to why I do this or my whole argument. If you are more of a marketing expert, trust me, I know what I'm talking about here. If you don't know anything about marketing, it's fine. What you wanna put here is the price of your course. That's it. The price of your course, that's it. Maybe a little more, but for now, just put the price of your course. Daily budget, put whatever you want. I normally put $250. It's not gonna spend the full $250. Why? Because you are telling it only send me results if they are cheap. That's what you're telling it. So it's gonna spend way less than that. But you can put whatever. You can put $5. You can put $10. I'm giving advice for like the person with the maximum budget. Then yes, do this. You're not gonna spend $250. The maximum is gonna spend is gonna be like $50 to $150. Really, what it ramps up. But you can put anything. I usually recommend anything between like 5 to 50. It's a very safe range as well. But the budget doesn't matter, because the budget is just time. You could put $1. It's just going to take you a little longer for you to see a sale, right? Because if you are telling Facebook, hey, Facebook, I want to get one sale for this price, right? And you set the price to a reasonable one. If you tell it $1, it's going to be like, yeah, bullshit. But if you're selling a $27 course, you say to Facebook, hey, Facebook, I'm willing to pay up to $27 for you to send me a sale. And don't worry about how it works. I know it sounds strange, like how does Facebook know they're going to buy? don't worry about that for now. Just trust the process. You're basically telling Facebook an estimation of what the impressions are worth to you. That's the technical explanation. So if you put $1 per day, it's fine. Just know it's going to take you around 27 days for you to get there, right? And it's fine. It doesn't matter too much. If you put $5 to $10 per day, which is very reasonable, it's going to take you 2 or 3 days to get a validation of this. That's totally fine too, right? But if you're going to spend $30 in 3 days, right? $10 a day for 3 days, why don't you just put $30 and get it over with in 1 day? Run them for a day, stop them right after, and run it, right? But yeah, 30, 40, $50. You want to aim to get at least 1 or 2 sales for validation, maybe even 2 or 3 sales to be fair. But yeah, play around with that. The budgeting is a whole different topic. It's very dependent on the person. I usually do a bit more one-on-one because it's a whole different topic. Locations. You unselect the US and you go to browse. You see countries. You select all of the countries. Yes, all of them. We're going to then create a new one for the US as well, but just all the countries for now. Audience suggestions. This is very good. In the past, you used to target like one audience, like, hey, what is the audience? Now it's suggestions. So you want to tell the pixel more or less who are you targeting, right? So you want to put a lot of suggestions, anything, right, that you think is minimally relevant. It needs to be a very broad one. It's just basically like suggestions for it to know. It's going to target whoever it wants, which is what we want, but we're just pointing it a little bit in the right direction while it doesn't have any data, right? So anything like famous people, general interest, just put anything that you think is going to be relevant. It's not super important. If you are confused, leave it blank. Facebook will figure it out, which is the cool part. Placements, you select all of them. It's totally fine. Then you click on next, and we're finally here in the ad. Congratulations. So now what you do is you paste your website URL here, whatever domain you have or whatever URL you have, to the sales page, right? To the beta sales page that you have. So whatever that is, .com, right? Your course.com/buy or whatever. And now we have the interesting part. Finally, the images and the text. But first I go here real quick. So we have the campaign set up. We have the ad set created. We have now to create the ads. So you're going to write 5 variations of the main text. You can use text, and you should use text from your sales page already to write your ads. More on that in a second. And you're going to create 5 image variations. I like to create Twitter style variations. More on that in a second. That's for the images. You're going to end up with 5 images and 5 text. That's all that matters. So for the text, what do? You have a sales page, right? Hopefully a little bit longer than this one. It's a little bit of a placeholder, right? You have the frequently asked questions, all these things, right? Cool. So you copy parts of it. The parts that you feel like they're interesting to you, the ones you feel like you did the best. I'm going to copy this part as an example, right? So I press Ctrl+C and I'm going to paste it here where it says primary text. I paste it and there we go, right? We have the text here now. What you need is the new way, and now you write whatever you need to write. It's an ad. It doesn't matter as much as what you put on the sales page. People are not going to remember it. People are not going to buy that much. People are not going to be convinced. All you need to do is get them to click to go to the sales page, right? Ideally, get them to click knowing they're going to buy something. That's the only pro tip I have here shortly, but like briefly, right? There are lots of things we can go in depth about, but just generally, the new way is doing this and that. Want to know more? I just launched a course, or I don't like to say the word course usually there. I just recorded a quick training you can get for X dollar today. Why do we put the amount? Because we want the people who click to know they're going to purchase something, to trigger and feed the algorithm that, hey, we're looking for buyers, right? So we put the price, or we put like, hey, buy it now. Don't try to be like, oh, learn more about it. No. Do you want to buy? Go here. We are trying to tell the algorithm, hey, we want buyers, right? Because the people clicking are going to be the ones who are interested, not just random people who want to know more and see if it's free, right? So you do this 5 times with different parts of your sales page, or own text you create. You click here, a text option, a text option, a text option. It even has some suggestions from AI. Pro tip, ChatGPT is not great. Don't fully trust it. It's good for ideas. The way it is right now, don't use it for copy unless you are either a really good copywriter or really good at ChatGPT, or usually both. To be fair, it's better for you to just communicate thinking that there is nothing for you to sell. You are not trying to convince them. You have the value, yet they have a pain. You are simply trying to say, hey, do you want this? Keep it really clear in that sense. Do you have this pain? If so, don't do this, do that, right? You put all the variations here, right? So different copy, you are going to end up something looking like this, right? A bunch of them. And now that you have your core text, that's going to be like the text that's going to go in the body of the thingy on the ad. You add the headlines. The headlines are a little bit easier. They're going to be shorter options. So you're going to add 5 headlines too. There is no secret to it. Just put what you're selling, right? Do you want this? Are you ready to do that? Struggling with whatever, right? Can be a question, can be a benefit, can be pain. It's super easy. Keep it short. 5, 10, 20 words. Super simple. And then you have the description. This doesn't really matter too much. It's like the little text at the bottom. So you can like add a few options there if you want. That matters very little in comparison. And then you have to add the image. So we have the text now written, we have the headlines. Now we need to create the image, right? So at a bare minimum, you need one image. If you want, you can create more, but to launch, you just need one. So how do you get this image? You do this. You go to Canva, and I did not sure if you guys are watching this. Some of you might have attended my advertising workshop that I did recently, right? Not sure if you guys got the emails and whatever, but I ran a paid advertising option workshop, right? Like an extra, and it was very successful. And one of the things we did and people liked a lot is that we went live and we wrote ads for me and we wrote ads for the people, right, as well. And it was very, very powerful, right? But anyways, if I do any other workshops in the future, I will let you guys know. I rarely do them a lot, but when I do, they really are a blast. But yeah, so we created some of these ads, right? And you see what they are. It's very simple. It's a square. You can even just go here, design, and you put Twitter. And there you go. You have it here, right here. You see, it's not hard. These are some of the best performing ads we have, right? And you have it done already. You see, you click here, and all you need to do is edit the text. Add your photo, add your name, that's it. And you can create, you click here on duplicate, and you can change the background, you can change the images, right, the text, and you're gonna end up with 5 or so, right? You see there are for different things, right? But yeah, we also did like some other testing, right? So spoilers, that's a different product, right? But a quick sneak peek, a little bit extra value there, but I don't wanna share too much about that because those are like the other examples, but it's pretty cool things. You see, like you're just testing things and playing around, but these are some of the best performing ones we have, and they're very simple. Anyway, so yeah, you come up with 5 of those, you download them, PNG, full resolution if you need, and square needs to be the right size for Facebook, right? Like this kind of square. On Facebook, and you click on add media, add image, you add the image, and you will see that every time you add one image, you're gonna be prompted with this idea. You wanna basically make sure it looks good in all the formats. So if I make it like this, it cannot fully be read. Maybe like this I could do it. You can click original or 916, you see it here. Here I move it a little bit up. There we go. Now people can read it. And then you click on next, and your ad is complete there. There we go. You click on next again. This is like Facebook stuff. And finally, you click here at the bottom left or the bottom right on publish, and you have your first ad. It's gonna take a while for them to turn on. Again, there are some errors because it's a test account, obviously, right? I didn't put the link as an example. That's why it's giving me an error, right? But you click on publish, and it's gonna take about 2, 3, 4 hours for it to even be approved. If it is your first ad, it's gonna take maybe even a day. So what do we do while we wait? Well, we do the next steps. That's why I do this first, and then we do the rest. By the way, if you want to add more images, you can see that right now, the way Facebook it is right now, in like a week ago was different, right? But the way it is right now, it only lets you add one image easily, at least per ad. What you do is you click here, you duplicate, and you keep the same text, but you just delete the image and add a new one. You could use, no, it's not even here, right? Dynamic creative, but that's a more advanced option. I don't want to make it hard. Anyways, so you duplicate it and you like end up with 5 different ads, each with a different image, all of them with the 5 same different text, or you can go wild and create new text. And then you wait until they launch. But while you wait, we're going to make sure that everything, well, we follow the process. So let's continue. Let's go back to a spreadsheet. So now we have the 5 variations. We have the 5 images. We're going to end up with 5 ads, each with a different image, but all of them with the same different text. And now we test. So now you need to check the entire funnel. You go to your ad, you click on the link, you make sure the link is opening on your computer, you make sure it's opening in your tablet, your phone, You review that it is easy to read, that it's like big, there are no big mistakes, right? You review that you can indeed purchase, so either you can purchase with your own credit card, or most of the time there is a test option. Well, you click on test and it allows you to test it, right? With a specific test number of credit card. But normally you can just use, if you're lazy, just use your own credit card, make sure it's working. Yes, it works, great. If you're on PayPal, cool, it's working, fine. Check all of the buttons on the sales page, okay? Click on all of them. Make sure they're working. It sounds silly, but yeah. And be certain it's working. Again, we do this after we launch, because again, speed matters, right? We launch the ads first, and while we wait, then we test, okay? I also say here, this is me of the past, that is turn on the ads. Well, oh no, okay, no, it's the expectations, yeah. So what I wanted to say is that the reason why we turn on the ads first is because they need to be approved. Then they need to be scheduled for delivery, right? So they're gonna take a while for them to even get on, because they get approved, and once they're approved, it's like the time slot, like they need to be scheduled for when they're gonna be delivered. And it's like a inner beat, like an automatic beat that Facebook is doing. Is crazy. But don't worry too much about that. They basically need to be scheduled for delivery. So usually it's like a few hours for them to get a spot that is cheap, that is good for entering the market, for entering the advertising, right? You want to keep an eye on the impression counter. The moment you see impressions going up, the metric saying impressions, that means that they are delivering. And you want to wait until at least you've spent twice the price of your course minimum, or 5 times the price of your course ideally, right? In between those areas. But bare minimum, wait until you spend twice the price of your course. Why? So we get enough data. Well, not even enough data, but if you want to get one sale for $15, right? Give Facebook some leeway, because at the beginning it needs to learn who's gonna want to buy your stuff, right? So the first sale you get is not gonna cost you 15. It's likely gonna cost you 20. It's gonna cost you 30. It's gonna cost you 40, right? You're gonna lose money the first sale because you're buying data. You're training the pixel on what it works. But then after a few sales, you're gonna get them for $10, $12, $15, right? And then you add the upsells and you're extremely profitable. So anyways, that's kind of what you need to be budgeting. You can spend that $5 a day, $1 a day for all I care. Just wait until you've done that. And if you can, instead of spending $1 a day for a month, just spend $30 in one day. It's a little easier, quicker, less painful, right? And it's fine to then just pause, review, and launch again if you need to later on, right? Stick to your own budget. But yeah, the more you're going to spend, obviously, the quicker you're going to see results there, because you don't need to wait a full month for you to spend $30, $1 a day. But you don't need to set it up at $250 like I do, right? That's what I do because I want to see results quicker a little bit, and we can afford it. So anyways, once you've spent twice the price of your course, we review. How much did you spend? And again, ideally 5 times, right? So you're doing 2 to 5, 3 times, 4 times, depending on your budget. But once you've spent at least 2, 3, 4 times the price of your course, then you check. Okay, how much did you spend? Okay, was it less than the price of my course? Yes, if so, keep spending. Was it more than the price of my course? Yes. Did you get any sales? Yes. Congrats, you made it. Instantly. Now the question is, what percentage of the ad spend did you cover with that 1 or 2 sales? I covered 30-50%. Cool. Add up sales, work on the backend, aka add a group coaching, which by the way, I'm opening spots for the group coaching soon. I only open them about 2 or 3 times per year. Not sure when you're watching this, but if you want more info, let me know. In the emails, I'm happy to share some more of this stuff. Work on your backend and create some level of group coaching, right, to help people a bit more. Do not touch the ads yet, or don't touch the offer, the sales page yet. And only increase the budget if I tell you. Well, that's a note for like some of the coaching clients. It's coming from a different thing. But yeah, only increase the budget if you're confident and you know that, hey, it's working well. But for now, keep the budget the same. If you get 70% plus, you won. You landed on a winning offer. You still need to add up sales. You still need to want to work on the back end. You still want to launch new ads, all the same things, but now even happier. Normally, you're going to end up at around 50%, 50 to 60% on your first launch, and then 70, 100 on your second one, right? Like in a week or 2 weeks later, depending on how quick you are implementing the changes you need to make, right? Did your hook survive? This means, did you get any sales, right? If yes, cool. Did you get 30% or less of your money back? Change your hook a little bit, right? Make it easier, make it more instant, add more scarcity, even though I don't like it, but it seems like you're going to need it a little bit. And then continue with the steps below. like you still need to do all of these things, right? So you only change your hook if you get some sales, but it's only like 20-30%. You're almost there. There is a demand for it, but you just didn't quite nail it. Is what I usually read in between lines there, right? That's what I usually assume it's happening there. If you get 30%, you're getting sales. It's not zero, which is great. It proves there is demand. You're just probably not communicating it clearly. If you get between 30 to 50, usually 40, 50%, you want to skip this part. No need to review your hook or anything, right? Skip that part, go into the second step. Add an order bump, a $7 order bump. You add an upsell, you add a downsell, and you add another upsell. They all need to be one-click upsells. That means that you save the credit card information, and if they click yes, you just process it without them having to click again and put all the information again, right? If you are doing 7 to 100% returns right off the gate, day one, day two, this is insane, then do the same things because you want more money, but just make sure you do not touch the ads. Because some people get to like 70, 100%, and then one day they don't have any sales and they get scared and they post the ads. Don't. Just wait, right? Do not touch them. Keep them going. That means don't touch them while you implement these things. So as an example, if you're getting 30 to 50%, post them, implement these things, turn them on again. If you're getting 70 to 100, do not post them because you want to keep getting data, because as you get more data, it's going to get better and it's automatically going to improve your results automatically, right? Without you doing much. Do not touch the ads. Then you record the course for both of them, right? And then you set the bid cap to the price of your course plus 10% and you launch the ads. Some next steps for you guys. Well, you can add more upsells, which is the 1, 2, and 3 I mentioned earlier. You need to create the course, usually a spreadsheet, right? 50, 60 minutes. You can go a little bit longer if you need to, right? The idea is that it's easy, it's quick, right? For you, like you don't need to spend a lot of time. It's not like 40 modules. Set up an automatic welcome email at the bare minimum. And yeah, right? So that's all the stuff. There are quite a few more things. I don't quite have time to go through all of it, unfortunately, right? If your hook didn't survive, if you got literally 0 sales, either you lack copywriting skills, you are targeting the wrong audience, or you're not following my advice. One of those 3. You want to go back to the drawing board and exaggerate the offer more. That doesn't mean to lie. It means to target a bigger pain point, target people a little bit more to the right, so people who are a bit more problem aware, people who've tried things, and create a totally new hook. That means do not reuse anything. It needs to be totally different so you get proper data. So you reuse everything, totally new hook, totally new everything, and you repeat the process. You spend another $50, $100, and usually if people do this on the first attempt, you don't need to do a second attempt. This is usually very, very rare. But if you don't do it in your first, your second will be the one where you nail it. So don't worry about that. It usually doesn't take more than 2 at all. Like it's very, very rare. I don't even think I've seen anybody try like 3 times or anything. So you're gonna be fine if you follow the advice. Anyways, that's about it. We covered it. Took us a little bit longer, but I really wanted to cover more things. Every time I record the tiny course, it gets a little bigger, but that is good for you guys because I share way more than I could have, right? I share the extra structure. I share some of our secrets that we were using, right? So yeah, lots of cool stuff. If you guys need any more help, let me know via email that you completed the training and I will give you a little secret bonus. Actually, something that's going to be very useful. So keep an eye out for that. It's going to be, I don't know, I need to still create it probably, to be fair. I'm thinking of giving out something about either the sales page or the ads. Maybe like some of the ads templates, like the text for you guys to copy and paste. I don't know, something like that. Actually, do this. Watch that. If you're getting to this point and you watch the entire training, congrats on that, by the way. You're doing awesome. Go implement it. But first, send me an email or post in the Facebook group and say, hey, I completed the training. And let me know what you want more help with. If you want like an ads bonus or a copywriting bonus. I don't know the bonus I will create for completing the course. So I can't promise anything. But let me know. Probably it's going to be some template or something cool for the ads or something. But yeah, let me know that you finished it. Congrats on doing that. And if you need any more help, as I said, there are a few more options to work together. I have some other products, but I don't usually do a lot of one-on-one coaching. If you guys need one-on-one coaching, it's usually something very rare that I do. If you guys want more help, I do have a community, the group coaching program. I'm not sure if it's open when you're watching this video, but ask me about it in the email. I'm happy to send you at least more information, and I can send you the dates 2 or 3 times per year when it actually opens. And yeah, if you want any more help, let me know, and I'm happy to point you to any of the products that we have. We have some other products for ads, we have some other products for automation, we have some other products for copywriting, right? A little bit more in depth. But you don't need any of that, to be fair. Like, I don't want you to go watch another of my trainings. I'd rather you go implement it, or go get a bit more help one-on-one from me. That's probably even better. But anyway, super excited to have you, and let me know you finished it, and I will see you soon. Take care.